All right, picture this. It's a dark, stormy night. A massive futuristic city is literally crumbling to the ground, falling piece by piece to this absolutely terrifying monster. The city's defenders, these elite students wearing glowing combat suits, they are fighting desperately, but one by one, they are just getting completely overpowered. All hope seems entirely lost. Well, right up until the moment a mysterious boy steps forward out of the rubble. He's got these glowing blue eyes, and unlike everyone else, he isn't running away. Let's dive into this explainer because what happens next completely shatters everything those defenders thought they know. As this lone kid approaches, the unstoppable monster actually starts to tremble in fear. It's muttering in total disbelief that the boy's power belongs to the king. And then, the boy simply raises his hand. In a single, breathtaking second, he unleashes fire, lightning, ice, and shadows, all at the exact same time. The flash is blindingly white and boom, it completely wipes out the monster. It's this explosive, god-tier display of ability. But how on earth did a single teenager get his hands on such overwhelming, world-ending power? To figure that out, we actually need to rewind the clock. We're going back exactly 3 years to unpack this incredible zero-to-hero journey. We'll be looking at the chronological rise of this mysterious boy, Kaido. But to really understand Kaido, we first have to understand the incredibly harsh reality of the world he grew up in. It's a place where the power you're born with literally dictates your absolute worth. Welcome to Neo Astra. Now, the setup here is pretty brutal. Every single teenager awakens a supernatural ability when they turn 16. The golden rule of this society? Strength equals status. The strong become celebrated heroes, and the weak are just entirely cast aside. At the super prestigious Astra Academy, you've got S-rank students casually showing off these incredible abilities, manipulating gravity, controlling fire, taking flight. And then, way down at the very bottom, you have Kaito. Messy black hair, super quiet, comes from a poor family, and worst of all in this society, he has absolutely zero abilities, not a single one. And this humiliating reality isn't just kept a secret, it's made totally public in the school's training arena. The teacher activates this testing crystal, right? And students step up to get their massive, glowing ranks, S rank, A rank, B rank. But when Kaido touches the crystal, nothing. Just a cold screen flashing, no ability detected. The whole room just erupts into explosive laughter. The top student, this incredibly arrogant fire user named Ryuji, violently shoves Kaido to the ground, mocking him, basically saying even ordinary civilians are stronger. And Kaido? He just clenches his fists in complete silence. But everything changes later, that exact same night. Kaido is just walking home from a grueling shift at a convenience store when he hears screams coming from a dark alley. A terrifying shadow monster is attacking a little girl. Everyone else is running for their lives. But Kaido? Even without a single ounce of power, he doesn't even hesitate. He instinctively rushes in to save her. The monster slashes his arm, and as his blood spills onto the pavement, it sinks right into this ancient, glowing symbol hidden underground. Suddenly, he's completely engulfed in blue energy, and this ancient voice just echoes in his head. Compatibility confirmed. The copy core has awakened. Which brings us to the real game changer here. The copy core isn't just a power, it is the ultimate power. It's this ancient, dormant ability that lets the user perfectly absorb and replicate the supernatural abilities of any opponent. Operating entirely on pure instinct, Kaido just reaches out and grabs the shadow monster. He absorbs its dark energy, his eyes flare this brilliant, glowing blue, and he literally obliterates the creature using its exact own shadow attack. Just like that. Over the course of a single night, the most powerless boy becomes the most dangerous person on the planet. Of course, Kaido has no idea what just happened yet. Fast forward to the very next day at school. His bully, Ryuji, publicly challenges him to a fight, trying to brand him a coward in front of everyone. When Kaido tries to back down, Ryuji just unleashes this barrage of deadly fire punches. But right at the last possible second, Kaido accidentally grazes Ryuji mid-attack. Instantly, there's a flash of blue energy, and Kaido's own hand erupts in roaring flames. He perfectly copied Ryuji's fire ability. Actually, scratch that. It's completely drastically stronger than the original. With one single reactive punch, Kaido just vaporizes the massive arena wall. The entire crowd is rendered completely speechless. And it's not just shock, you guys. It's sheer, absolute terror from the established order. The teachers instantly fall into a massive panic. They've never seen anything remotely like this. And high up above the arena, watching from the shadows, the principal's face turns incredibly serious. He just mutters, "So, the forbidden power has returned." This isn't just some ultra-rare ability. This is something the leaders of the world are deeply, deeply afraid of. Because of that immense fear, the threat level escalates almost immediately. That very same night, Kaido gets ambushed by a squad of masked assassins. They belong to this ancient, shadowy organization known as the Void Order. And their sole, brutal objective? Kill whoever is using the copy core before they figure out their full potential and become totally unstoppable. So what happens next is this incredibly epic, fast-paced anime-style showdown. Kaido is completely outmanned, struggling to survive against multiple highly trained killers. But in the middle of all this sheer chaos, he accidentally starts copying their powers in real time. First, he absorbs ice from an attacker, then teleportation from the second guy. Finally, he absorbs these supernatural chains from the third. For the very first time, Kaido is fighting like an absolute beast. We're talking exploding ice walls, clashing shadow blades, and lightning just filling the night sky. Just as the battle really threatens to overwhelm him, everything shifts. Enter Era. She's this mysterious silver-haired girl with a highly advanced ability. Time slow. In the absolute blink of an eye, she instantly drops several of the assassins, grabs Kaido's hand, and pulls him totally out of the combat zone to safety. She makes it very clear, if he stays there, he is absolutely going to die. Once they catch their breath, Ira drops some serious lore on him. She explains that a long, long time ago, there was one singular warrior who possessed the ability to copy every single power on Earth. He became so overwhelmingly powerful that entire nations basically lived in pure terror of him. Eventually, driven by that fear, the whole world united, betrayed him, and killed him. But right before he died, this copy king sealed his godlike power away. And, yep, you guessed it, centuries later, that exact same power is what just woke up inside Kaito. You really have to imagine the emotional weight dropping on Kaido right now. He's flashing back through his entire life, the years of painful bullying, the agonizing loneliness, the daily, grinding humiliation of being a so-called zero. He looks right at Ira and asks this quietly devastating question. If this power is so unimaginably dangerous, why on earth give it to him? Ira just smiles softly, and her answer hits the nail on the head regarding Kaido's entire journey. She tells him, because even without powers, you still chose to save someone. That's the core of it all. Kaido wasn't chosen because he was aggressive or wildly ambitious. His true qualification for wielding the ultimate power was his selfless bravery in that dark alley. It was always his character, not his physical strength, that made him worthy of the copy core. But hey, there's absolutely no time for a victory lap, because the Void Order decides to launch a massive all-out assault directly on Astra Academy. Explosions are rocking the campus, students are in a blind panic, and even top-tier bullies like Ruji are getting swatted down like flies. And then, out steps the terrifying leader of the Void Order himself, Lord Nox. His power isn't just destructive, it's catastrophic. Nox has ability erasure. He can permanently delete a person's powers with a single touch. Nox confidently walks right up to Kaito and touches him, fully expecting to just delete the copy core out of existence forever. But literally nothing happens. Nox's power completely fails. For the first time ever, this terrifying leader looks genuinely terrified. This failed erasure acts like a catalyst, triggering Kaito's true awakening. Suddenly, these glowing blue symbols cover his skin, his eyes shift to a piercing silver blue, and massive wings made of pure energy literally erupt from his back. You have to appreciate the sheer, unbelievable scale of this climax. In this fully awakened state, Kaido doesn't just copy one power, he simultaneously copies the powers of absolutely everyone nearby. He pulls in fire, wind, lightning, gravity, time, and shadows all at once. The entire sky violently changes color as he merges everything into one gigantic, battlefield-destroying blast he calls Infinite Eclipse. The attack is absolute. Lord Nox is completely vaporized, and this stunned, heavy silence falls over the entire academy. When the dust finally settles, the social hierarchy of this world is completely shattered. The students of Astra Academy are just staring in absolute jaw-dropping disbelief. The boy they mocked, humiliated, and called powerless for years? Yeah, he's the one who just saved every single one of their lives. Even Ruji, the guy who tormented Kaido relentlessly, just lowers his head in a silent nod of profound respect. Kaido has finally, truly earned his place. But you know how these massive stories go? The world is always much bigger than just one high school. We pivot away from the ruined academy to this dark, hidden chamber located somewhere far across the globe. A mysterious figure is sitting deep in the shadows. They open a pair of glowing red eyes and just quietly mutter, "So the Copy King has finally returned." The true villains are still out there, and they are definitely watching. And if that wasn't enough to hook you, we get hit with a massive post-credits cliffhanger. Kaido is walking home peacefully, just trying to process the absolute insanity of the last few days. Suddenly, a random cat on the street stops, looks right at him, and literally speaks. It says, "You still haven't mastered even 1% of your power." Kaido just freezes in pure shock. I mean, think about that for a second. We just saw him wipe out a god-tier assassin with an attack that literally changed the color of the sky, and that wasn't even 1%. It leaves us with this incredible, thrilling question. If Kaido is this completely unstoppable right now, what exactly is going to happen to the world when he reaches 100%?